Thank you for joining us again for the rest of our episode here on Water Talk. I'm Doug Davis, your host, and today with us is Diane Friend, and she's an Executive Managing Director for the Kings County Farm Bureau. Now, your family farms also,
That's
right?
correct.
And what do you guys grow?
Well, we grow, over the years, we've grown just about everything from cotton to walnuts to prunes. Currently, we're growing alfalfa and wheat and corn.
Now, as a farmer, do you ever run into just a water shortage?
Oh, it's always a shortage. California gets about 10 to 12 inches of rainfall a year, which is not enough to sustain the crops grown in the Central Valley. Mm-hmm. And so we depend on that water that comes from Northern California through the Delta, mm-hmm. The Sierra snowpack that comes down through the Kings River. And without those water sources and some of the good groundwater that we have in the county, all three of those sources are what maintains and sustains not only the crops, but the communities as well in the Kings County.
Wow. So let's talk more about the ocean water getting in there. That's where you're getting salt problems, you're saying?
That's correct.
So how does that end up being an issue for water all the way into the middle of the state of California?
Well, and it's not everywhere. There's only certain areas water flows underground, and we can't see those aquifers, mm-hmm. but they do flow and move around. And because the valley's flat, and particularly in Kings County, where you have these spots where these aquifers move up into the soil, mm-hmm. It's very problematic. Crops don't like a lot of salt, and so therefore the farmers can't depend on that groundwater. They can't pump from it to irrigate.
Well, that's an interesting point about the salt issue and the contaminants. We had a guest in a recent episode who was speaking to that point also, because we're also talking about any kind of well water is being affected, so mm-hmm. that comes up and people are using that for their drinking water supply. Your municipalities are using that. When you think about the contaminants or all the various particles that you're going to find in the water, it's very important for you to be able to have some kind of a backup system at the very least, if not just a simple replacement of water. And that's what we do at EcoloBlue. We give you the ability to make your own water. Now, in a farming situation, you're talking about a lot of water production, but there are farmers who have small parcels of land, and they have a name, right? What do you call these small farmers?
Well,
by small, I mean the amount of land that they have.
Farmers to me are small and big. Any individual that uses those God-given resources of soil, water, and mm-hmm. air to produce food, to me is a farmer. Right. But we have in our county, as well as Fresno County, you've got a lot of small farmers, anywhere from a half an acre to 10,000 acres. Mm-hmm. So, but these small farmers, I think, they have a little different problems than maybe the larger farmers. Mm-hmm. Their water demands may be smaller, but quality is an issue for them too, and they're producing a lot of specialty crops, some specialty vegetables, fruits, vines, nuts. And so...
so those are they called, termed as micro farmers?
We like to call them micro farmers because they're farming on a smaller scale.
What's the typical acreage for a micro farmer?
Anywhere from, half an acre to mm-hmm. 10 acres.
About 10 acres mm-hmm. or so.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I bring that up is that we have industrial units that can produce up to 1,600, close to 1,600 gallons a day. And for those farmers, if you're watching this, that's a great application for you. It's a great resource of water. You can replenish your rainwater. You can let it run constantly. even while you're not irrigating, you can let it replenish your well water. It's just a great solution to water issues that you might be running into. I'd like to ask you about, it seems it's becoming more and more popular, is a drip irrigation. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to that for us?
Well, drip irrigation for the San Joaquin Valley has been a new technology. It hasn't been a real new technology. We've been implementing it over the last 20 years, and it is really a more efficient way to irrigate. You lose less in evapotranspiration rather than flooding the field with mm-hmm. water. You're able to capture most of that
so
water.
when you're irrigating just across the land, you've got evaporation, you're losing water.
Yeah.
What would you say is the average percentage that you lose to evaporation?
Oh gosh, you'd have to ask me that technical question.
Well, I heard somewhere it could range from 10 to 15%. Is that correct?
It can be on a good hot summer day
right.
at 110 degrees, 105 degrees. As you know, we're very dry, arid valley, so mm-hmm. It can get up as high as those ranges. But the other efficiency factor, I think, in drip irrigation is that it delivers the water directly to the soil or directly to the root zone.
Right.
And so the plant is able to absorb that water. And
well, that's kind of a misnomer, isn't it, about drip irrigation? A lot of people think, oh, well, they're using less water, even because they're targeting, right?
Yes.
But the fact is that the plant still requires
needs that 2 to 3 acre foot of water, depending on the crop. They, in some crops, 3 to 4 acre feet of water a year to produce a crop. Mm-hmm. So, the plant needs water, mm-hmm. and a lot of people have said to me, well, farmers use all this water, and I always say to them, yeah, but they're putting it into an orange or a gallon of milk that the consumer's drinking, right?
Or eating, right?
Or eating.
Uh-huh.
And so we're just taking water, producing crops, and transferring it, kind of like I think what your product is trying to do is mm-hmm. recapture. It's a cycle, isn't it?
Exactly.
Water, creation of water, creation of food and plants are, it's a cycle.
Yeah, people ask me, one of the common concerns about our technology is, well, if everyone on the planet were to be using one of these, then what would happen to all the humidity in the air? And what a concern that would be. But the fact is, all we're doing is speeding up the nature cycle. We're just helping you to make it rain inside your kitchen or out on your farm or wherever you might be using one of our atmospheric water generators. So it's not harming the environment. In fact, it's actually helping the environment. More importantly, it's helping your health. When you look at the quality of the water that most of us have available is not high quality water. And then the municipalities, what are they putting into the water? You've got your chlorine and other chemicals that they're using. It's just, why go that route if you can make your own? Another good point is that quite often you're going to the store, you're buying plastic bottles, now you're mm-hmm. polluting the environment. Mm-hmm. We have one unit that actually provides carbonated water, so people can make their own soda pop at home. Mm-hmm. So they're not filling the air with the emissions from their car. They're staying home. They're not having to go buy it. They're saving money. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way to go. Diane, tell us about the Farm Bureau. What is the purpose of the Farm Bureau? What is it? What do you guys do there?
Thanks. Well, the Farm Bureau has been around almost 100 years. We're not quite there, but since 1903 in Kings County. It was organized by a group of farmers, progressive farmers, that at that time were more interested in roads, putting in roads to their farms and protecting their communities. We've grown significantly from 1903 to the point that now our Farm Bureau and many of the others in California are concerned with policies that have a lot to do with land use, mm-hmm. Labor, trade, and most importantly, water. So my job is to be an advocate for the industry, represent the farmers in my community, and promote ag education to those individuals that don't know a lot about farming.
Well, let's give you a chance to do that. One of the things I know that comes up a lot is the use of certain chemicals that farmers use, how it or is it contaminating the water supply. Tell us about your take on that.
Well, people use the word chemicals as, I think, a bad word, but chemicals are just a unit of biology, right? Nitrogen is a natural occurring element in science, and nitrogen, I think, plants require nitrogen to produce foliage, fruit, and of course in agriculture, a product at the end of the year or a crop. And so a lot of people it's kind of a misnomer, I think, that what farmers put on their crop are bad chemicals. They're not chemicals for the purpose of destroying the environment. Their purpose is to put it into the soil, let the roots and the plant uptake those nutrients so it can produce a crop.
Is that being monitored then?
It is being monitored, and in fact, it's very expensive to go out and buy nitrogen and different fertilizers to put on your soil, whether it's organic material like manure or other potassium, and there's potash. There's a lot of elements that a plant needs to grow, and so those things are expensive. So a farmer doesn't just spend thousands of dollars and throw it out on the land. It's very calculated, and it's very specific to what that plant needs. Tests are taken on the soil and on the plant, and then those fertilizers are used to help the plant nourish and grow and produce a crop.
So I guess it's fair to say when people are really concerned about the quality of the water or the contamination down in the water table itself, a lot of that's coming from nature itself. The bad salts. We have I know there's communities in California in the foothills, specifically Oakhurst and Coarsegold, California, are facing problems with not being able to have drinkable water because of the granite slate that's in the mountainsides, and it's coming down into their water tables, and it's polluting the water with uranium and selenium. Those are proven to be cancer-causing products.
And you're exactly right. Water is trapped in thousands of layers of sand and soil and aggregate and in the ground, and we pump from that. And so it doesn't take long to understand that when you're bringing that water up, you're drawing from, as you said, nature itself. There are communities in the valley that have water quality issues that are because of those thousands of years of that beautiful alluvial soil moving off the Sierras and into the valley floor that have contaminated certain water aquifers. And so it is a concern. We're always wanting to point the blame at different industries and people for creating it. But I like to look at the science, and I like to understand what those causes are before I choose who's to blame. But the bottom line is that there is some problems that your company can help correct.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in today's society, we become accustomed to going to the store and buying our bottled water, or we have a water cooler at the office, and there's the 5-gallon jugs of water to deal with. No longer needed. Bottles are bad.
Yeah.
Make your own water.
Yeah.
Come to EcoloBlue, get an atmospheric water generator, make your own purified, healthy drinking water for you and your family, or for your employees at the office. We hope you do that. I guess from a farmer's standpoint, in regards to, let's get back to the what we call micro farmers. Any idea how much water usage they're having to take on for their crops?
Well, a lot of the micro farmers are closer to the urban areas because they're marketing their crops through maybe farmers markets, local farmers markets, or community farming organizations that we call CSAs, where you buy a subscription into that small micro farm, and you can go out and pick your own vegetables through the summer. Great.
Some of them have delivery services, right?
There is.
You can actually
yeah,
get,
we do. We have quite a few farmers
produce
doing
or
that.
whatever your favorite thing is delivered to your door.
Yeah, it's great. I love to see it. It's very innovative. Well, I don't know that it's innovative. I think it's more what we used to be like probably 100 years ago when farmers fed another one or two families to today, where one farmer is feeding 30 to 50 families. Wow. So, but I think what's great is that whether you're a small farmer or a large farmer, you're still producing food and still delivering it to the consumer. And the closer you can get to that marketing channel, I think is great.
So when you say that they're close to an urban area, are they using municipal lines? Are you using city water?
Quite honestly, they might be using water from those local municipality wells, or they may have a shallow, what we call a domestic well on their property that's shallow. So
they're having to pay for that water at the city rate?
Absolutely, they're paying higher rates for that water.
Wow. So, hey, we've got industrial units that you can look at. If you're a micro farmer out there, take a look and see if we can be a solution to cost savings initially, better quality water to use. We'd love to help you out with that. Diane, is there a particular mission going on currently for the Farm Bureau? Are you guys targeted any specific where? I understand there's a lot of conflict, or maybe not conflict, but there seems to be back and forth with environmentalists in agencies and saving the fish.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy. I think water is probably our largest issue, and it's really about the only thing farmers are thinking about right now, this time of year. And pretty much all year round now. We've been in a water shortage for the last few years, and so we really depend on that surface water. And last year we got cut down to about a 25% allocation on contracted water. That's water that was promised to these farmers that was cut by 75%.
By 75%. Now, when something like that happens, is that would that be part of the reason for the cost to go up?
Well,
I mean, the cost of the end product?
Exactly. The problem is that you have so many handlers in between that are able to, adjust that price to cover their costs. I think the biggest impact from that kind of a water shortage are the communities, because when a farmer can't grow that crop that year, the first thing that has to happen is lay people off.
Wow. And
so we've seen a lot of huge unemployment in small communities that are dependent on agriculture. Families it's not unusual to go out to the west side of the valley and see long lines, food lines in small communities because they're unemployed.
Dan, I'd love to have you come back another time.
I have a lot more I could tell you.
We could learn a lot more about this.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Coming here again for visiting us. We're here on Water Talk, sponsored by EcoloBlue. Visit us at our website at EcoloBlue.com. We have a short video for you to watch, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
The revolution in water resource management is here. Introducing EcoloBlue's atmospheric water generators. EcoloBlue's generators are able to take humidity right out of the atmosphere and turn that humidity into the cleanest drinking water that you can get. Everyday tap water contains thousands of different particles in it. However, EcoloBlue's generators not only filter out many of these particles, but they add minerals to your water to make sure you have the purest drinking water available. EcoloBlue is both economically sound as well as environmentally safe. Why pay outrageous prices for bottled water when you can pay just 20 cents per gallon with EcoloBlue? In addition to saving money, you'll also be saving the environment. Unlike bottled water companies that produce tons of plastic waste that harms our planet, EcoloBlue's products produce little to no waste. With EcoloBlue, you now have more options for the use of your water than ever before. In addition to the hot and cold functions to your generator, you now have the ability to carbonate your water. Enjoy making soda water right in the comfort of your own home. Having EcoloBlue is now essential when being prepared for any emergency. Each day, 850 water mains break in North America alone. Add on natural disasters such as droughts, hurricanes, and earthquakes, having the ability to be water independent is more important than ever. With EcoloBlue, you're no longer dependent on traditional sources for water. From our smaller home-sized generators to our industrial-sized generators, EcoloBlue has a solution for any situation. And now with our new solar panel kits, you can be truly water independent. Assert your water independence. Thousands of businesses and families across America have been enjoying pure drinking water for years thanks to EcoloBlue. To get more information, visit our website at EcoloBlue.com or call us at 1-800-691-6043.